Understanding the atom's power, fission and fusion. Atoms are tiny particles that make up everything around us. They are the fundamental building blocks of all matter, from the air we breathe to the stars in the sky. They have a nucleus at their center, containing protons and neutrons. This nucleus is surrounded by a cloud of electrons. Nuclear reactions, whether fission or fusion, involve these nuclei, releasing tremendous energy. This energy can be harnessed for various purposes. Fission occurs when a heavy nucleus like uranium is split into lighter nuclei. This splitting releases energy in the form of heat and radiation. Imagine a raindrop shattering a rock. That's the basic idea. The energy released can be used to generate electricity in nuclear power plants. Fusion, on the other hand, involves combining light nuclei, such as hydrogen isotopes, to form a heavier nucleus. This process is the source of the sun's immense energy. This process, powering the sun, releases even more energy than fission. It holds the potential for nearly limitless clean energy if we can harness it on Earth. Think of two water droplets merging into a larger one, releasing a burst of heat. This is a simplified way to understand fusion. Both fission and fusion are powerful processes that can be harnessed for energy or destruction. The dual nature of nuclear energy makes it both promising and perilous. However, controlling these reactions is a complex endeavor. It requires precise conditions and advanced technology. It requires sophisticated technology and knowledge. The challenges are immense, but so are the potential rewards. This complexity is the first hurdle in the development of nuclear weapons. The expertise and resources needed are significant. Only a few nations possess the scientific and industrial capacity for such an undertaking. The global implications of nuclear technology are profound and far-reaching. The quest for fissionable material, uranium and plutonium. Creating a nuclear weapon requires fissile material capable of sustaining a nuclear chain reaction. Two primary candidates exist, uranium and plutonium. Uranium occurs naturally, but only a specific isotope, uranium-235, is fissile. This isotope is found in minuscule amounts in natural uranium, necessitating enrichment to increase its concentration. Enrichment involves separating uranium-235 from the more abundant uranium-238. This process is technologically challenging and resource-intensive, requiring specialized equipment and expertise. Plutonium, on the other hand, is not found naturally. It is a byproduct of nuclear reactors, created when uranium-238 absorbs a neutron and undergoes radioactive decay. This process, known as plutonium breeding, requires dedicated facilities and careful management of radioactive materials. Both uranium enrichment and plutonium production are tightly controlled internationally, due to their potential for weapons proliferation. Building a bomb, engineering challenges and solutions. Constructing a nuclear weapon involves more than just acquiring fissile material. It demands advanced engineering and precise assembly. One common method is the implosion-type device. This intricate design uses conventional explosives arranged around a sphere of plutonium. These explosives detonate simultaneously, creating an inward shockwave that compresses the plutonium to a critical mass. This compression triggers an uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction, resulting in a massive explosion. The engineering challenges involved are immense, requiring precision timing, material science expertise, and sophisticated detonation systems. The slightest deviation in timing or material properties can lead to a fizzle, or a premature detonation. Furthermore, the handling of radioactive materials poses significant risks to workers and the environment, necessitating stringent safety protocols and specialized infrastructure. The Trinity Test, the dawn of the nuclear age. The first test of a nuclear weapon, codenamed Trinity, took place on July 16, 1945, in the New Mexico desert. This event marked the culmination of years of research, development, and engineering. The test involved an implosion-type plutonium device, detonated atop a steel tower. The explosion was equivalent to approximately 20,000 tons of TNT, vaporizing the tower and leaving a large crater. The intense heat fused sand into a glassy substance, later dubbed trinitite. The Trinity test ushered in the nuclear age, forever altering the course of human history. It demonstrated the devastating power of nuclear weapons and the potential consequences of their use. The test also provided valuable data on the effects of nuclear explosions, informing future weapon design and contributing to our understanding of nuclear physics. Section 5. The Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty of Flawed Hope. In response to the growing threat of nuclear war, The international community established the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT, in 1968. This was a time when the world was on edge, fearing the catastrophic consequences of a nuclear conflict. This treaty aims to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, promote cooperation in peaceful nuclear technology, and work towards nuclear disarmament. It was seen as a beacon of hope in a world overshadowed by the threat of nuclear annihilation. The NPT divides countries into two categories: nuclear weapon states and non-nuclear weapon states. This division was intended to create a clear framework for disarmament and non-proliferation. Nuclear weapon states, defined as those that had detonated nuclear devices before 1967, committed to pursuing nuclear disarmament. This commitment was a cornerstone of the treaty's vision for a safer world. Non-nuclear weapon states, in turn, agreed not to acquire nuclear weapons. This mutual agreement was designed to curb the arms race and promote global stability. However, the treaty has been criticized for its inherent inequalities and slow progress on disarmament. Critics argue that the pace of disarmament has been disappointingly slow, and the treaty's goals remain unfulfilled. Some argue that it creates a system of haves and have-nots, entrenching the power of existing nuclear states. This has led to tensions and accusations of unfairness among the international community. Moreover, the treaty lacks effective enforcement mechanisms, relying on international cooperation and goodwill, which can be, well, quite fragile. The absence of robust enforcement has often been a point of contention and debate. Section 6. The high cost of entry: economic barriers to nuclear weapons. Developing and maintaining nuclear weapons is a costly endeavor, requiring significant financial resources and scientific expertise. The process involves uranium enrichment or plutonium production, weapon design and testing, and the development of delivery systems. These activities demand substantial investments in infrastructure, research, and specialized personnel. Moreover, nuclear weapons require ongoing maintenance, security, and eventual dismantlement, adding to the long-term costs. These economic barriers present a significant obstacle for many countries, particularly developing nations, seeking to acquire nuclear weapons. Only a handful of states possess the financial capacity and technological base to sustain such programs. The high cost of entry acts as a deterrent, limiting the number of nuclear-armed states. Section 7. The global nuclear order: power, prestige, and paranoia. The possession of nuclear weapons confers significant power and prestige on states. Nuclear weapons are seen as the ultimate deterrent, capable of inflicting unacceptable damage on an adversary. This perceived power can influence a state's foreign policy, shaping its relationships with other nations. Nuclear-armed states often occupy a privileged position in the international system, commanding greater attention and influence. This status can lead to a sense of exceptionalism and a belief in the necessity of nuclear weapons for national security. However, it can also fuel regional instability and arms races, as neighboring countries feel compelled to acquire nuclear weapons in response, creating a vicious cycle of proliferation and insecurity. Section 8. The dual-use dilemma: peaceful atoms, deadly potential. Nuclear technology, while posing significant risks, also offers numerous peaceful applications. Nuclear power plants generate electricity, reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Radioisotopes are used in medicine for diagnosis and treatment. This duality of nuclear technology presents a challenge for non-proliferation efforts. The same technologies used for peaceful purposes can be diverted for weapons production. This dual-use dilemma complicates international cooperation and raises concerns about the potential for clandestine nuclear programs. Distinguishing between civilian and military applications is crucial for effective non-proliferation measures. It requires robust safeguards, transparency, and international monitoring to ensure that nuclear materials and technologies are not diverted for weapons purposes. Section 9. The future of nuclear weapons: between disarmament and proliferation. The future of nuclear weapons remains uncertain, caught between the opposing forces of disarmament and proliferation. As nations strive to balance their security needs with global peace efforts, the stakes have never been higher. The international community continues to grapple with the challenges of reducing nuclear arsenals, preventing the spread of nuclear weapons, and addressing the humanitarian consequences of nuclear war. These efforts require unprecedented levels of cooperation and trust among nations. Technological advancements, such as missile defense systems and cyber warfare, add further complexity to the equation. These innovations could either serve as protective measures or escalate tensions, depending on how they are perceived and utilized. Some argue that these technologies could undermine deterrence and increase the risk of nuclear conflict. The debate continues as experts weigh the potential benefits against the possible dangers. Others believe they could enhance strategic stability by reducing the vulnerability of nuclear arsenals. This perspective suggests that advanced defenses might deter aggression and promote a more secure global environment. The path forward requires sustained dialogue, diplomacy, and a commitment to multilateralism. Only through continuous engagement can we hope to navigate the complexities of nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. Addressing the underlying causes of conflict, promoting trust-building measures, and strengthening international norms against nuclear weapons are essential steps towards a safer and more secure world. These efforts must be persistent and inclusive. The future of humanity may depend on our ability to prevent the use of these devastating weapons. Our collective actions today will shape the world for generations to come.